Hello, this is Mr. Hornsby83 with my first Mr. Hornsby83 review of the new year. By the way, I haven't said it in any of my first videos. Happy New Year. But today I'm doing a review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not the current product, the 2003 show, which they just aired a few weeks ago on Nicktoons Season 1 and Season 2. Then, from there, they went on to do 5 seasons of that, plus 2 spin-off shows at the time. I'm going to be talking about all that, and then I'm going to start with, the first 2 seasons, which were pretty good seasons. I mean, first one ends with Shredder taking them off to the farm where they were at, after they had an all-out beatdown on the turtles. Took down all of them, just about. Kind of similar to the way season 2 ended with this new turtle coming. But and I think this one don't get a lot of credit because the only one that really this current one gets compared to is the one from the 80s and 90s, which was a good one. This one got a dark, very anime style, right? Kind of like what they did with Batman Beyond. And I'm gonna pick up season 2 ends with the Battle Nexus tournament, which is funny because the one that won it out of all 4 of the turtles and Splinter was Michelangelo, which is pretty funny. But because Michelangelo wouldn't let nobody live it down, especially Raph. But yeah, and then you see a little precursor, if anybody watches it again, a precursor to the Triceratons invading Earth, which you seen. I think it was toward the end of season, or the middle of season 2 or whatever, when they came back and then they had the battle. They went to TCRI to find Splinter and all that, and you found out everything, all the secrets about Shredder, all the secrets about the Utrons and all that, which Shredder turned out to be an Utron, which was kind of unique for, Shredder, because, the original cartoon he's human, and so far in this cartoon he's human, so, but, overall, this was a pretty good show. I think, it don't get enough credit. It was, it wasn't as humorous as the old one or the current one right now. But it was still pretty, there was a lot of light moments, a lot of comedy in it, Mikey becoming Turtle Titan and all that. And, season 3 starts out with them battling the Triceratons, which I believe also introduces another main villain who's like the villain from like season 3 out of 5. Some government agent, I can't remember his name. It's been so long since I watched all the other ones, but I do remember a lot about the show. And this agent, for some reason, was well skilled at martial arts and could really mop the floor with the turtles. I guess since they didn't have a human Shredder, they had a human guy, human government agent as one of their main nemesis, which he ends up helping them at the end of the show with season 5. Then we get into around toward the end of season 3. It ends with them finally, after his 9 lives, doing away with the Utron Shredder period, because the Utrons capture him and Karai, and they bring the turtles to their planet. He gets judged for all the crimes he had against the Utrons and other parts of the galaxy, and etc., etc. And really, something they should have did to show more of these, after season 2, so 3, 4, and 5. Well, 5 was considered do those episodes, and I'll explain that in a minute. But he gets put on a planet that's like completely cold, so he don't have his shredder suit or anything, so he's completely frozen. They're done with him for right now, or so they think. I'll get to that down the line too. And then, season 4 was more about Karai wanting revenge for what happened with the Shredder, and she blames the turtles and all this. Leonardo, I guess, finally gets over her crush on Karai, because just like on the new show, he had a huge crush on Karai. And I think she liked him until they, got Shredder arrested and put on the frozen planet. But, then, it ends, I think it ends with her, beating down the turtles, and then the turtles just, that, I guess, that ended the rivalry, her getting her revenge, because you really don't see too much interaction between the turtles and Karai until season 5 / lost episodes. But alright, then after that ended, they showed the first, I think, 2, 3, maybe 4 episodes of season 5. And after that, they stopped showing it. Then, like, not too long after that, you got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fast Forward, which was about, I believe, Casey Jones and April O'Neil's nephew or something. Which I didn't care too much for it. It just wasn't as good as what they were doing on the main show. But, you know, it lasted for maybe a season or 2 or a season and a half. And then after that, they went back to the sewers. Which, you know, sorry about that, my freaking cat trying to steal the spotlight. But then it led to back to the sewers, which, you know, they kept going into cyberspace and that, and you have the Shredder in the virtual world, the Oocom Shredder, and I'm like, geez, this guy, he must have cloned himself before he got frozen, because he put himself in cyberspace for some odd reason. They finally do away with that, and then we get back to season 5 of the main show, which happens, thank God, which was talking about the ancient Shredder, the true Shredder, mystic Shredder, whatever you want to call him on that show. And it you know, the Turtles have to train to beat this guy, because this guy is very powerful, he's got a lot of power, he's very strong, he's, you know, got all kinds of, you know. But at the end, it ends up the Turtles, Hamato Yoshi, Splinter, all end up beating that Shredder, but also with the help of Karai, the agent that was one of their main villains through part of the show. I believe the Justice Force helped them. A lot of other people helped them. And, you know, there I thought, well, that's the end of that show. But then I think maybe a year and a half after that, we finally get the final episode, which was a movie special, a crossover between, at the time, the current Turtles and the past Turtles, which was pretty good. You had the old Shredder, you had Krang, you had Bebop, Rocksteady, you see the old April, you see the old Splinter, you see, you know, a lot of old villains, well, except for Baxter Stock. And then you got the villains from the current product at that time. And the Turtles interacting with each other, and they go to their time, meet the April, and they're like, what are you, some kind of, why are you wearing a leather suit or something like that? I forgot what the joke was that they said, that they asked if she was like, some kind, I can't remember, it's been like 4 years since they aired that movie, maybe 3, but, anyway, the Shredder from the old show is looking for the Shredder from the current show at that time, and he finds him on the planet, brings him to the planet, and even without a Shredder, he beats the crap out of the old Shredder and Krang, but it seemed in a way they kind of made Shredder and Krang a little incompetent. They were a little tougher in the old show, which is one thing I didn't like about the movie crossover, but then Karai comes in, kicks the crap out of the old Shredder and Krang, and she's like, why have you brought my father here and this and that, and Shredder, like, builds him a new body, a new suit from, the Technodrome, and pretty much starts using the mutagen to mutate, because, you know, in the old one, Shredder and Krang always mutated everything. They're like, well, if we can't beat them with humans, or beat them with humans and that, we'll just use the mutants, but Oocom Shredder decides to do that, and his people are a little more confident than the people that the old Shredder made, and he's a little more eviler than the old Shredder. It ends up ending with 3 turtle teams, Karai, old Shredder, Krang, and Bebop and now Rocksteady accidentally killing him, but it ends up with them having to beat the Oocom Shredder, which was the final nail in the coffin. His 9 lives ran out, I guess. They got 9 lives, but, you know, his 9 lives ran out, finally, and that was the end of the show. And overall, I think this show is pretty good, very underrated. Not many people are in the conversation. They'll put it in the conversation, they'll either put the current one or the old one in the conversation. Overall, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I mean, I like the idea that not only was there Shredder, but they kind of merged Shredder and Krang in a way in that show, because they had the Oocom Shredder instead of a human Shredder, which is kind of cool. bride basically took the place of, you know, what Shredder was. But, you know, she was only in command when Shredder wasn't around. Shredder supposedly was supposed to be in command the whole time. But yeah, 4 out of 5. That'll do it for this review. This was a retro review. Tune in next Wednesday. I have a topic, so I think I'm going to possibly get to my Dragon Ball Z Part 3. Or no, actually, I'm going to cover the Vince McMahon podcast that he had with Stone Cold. Then I'll get to that the week after. I'll have another NFL pick video, which you'll see Thursday. And that'll probably be it until probably that Saturday. But till then, peace out.